Breaking news. Devin Haney offered the undisputed fight with George Kambosos. Loma, he out of here. In this video, I'll talk about the offer to Devin Haney and what really happened with the Lomachenko fight and why Devin Haney could be in a position to possibly get George Kambosos. So stick around. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Now, ESPN is reporting, I will put the link in the description. It says, Devin Haney has been offered undisputed lightweight title fight with George Kambosos on June 5th in Australia. Sources tell ESPN. The offer comes after Lou DiBella told ESPN that VASILY Lomachenko has passed on the fight to remain in the Ukraine during the war. Story coming. So that's the latest. They're saying that Devin Haney could be the one that gets the fight as of right now because Lomachenko is not going to leave. Another boxing reporter says, Lou DiBella told me that Vasyl Lomachenko's manager has informed him Lomachenko is out of the Kambosos fight for June 5th. Loma will remain in the Ukraine to assist military efforts in his war against Russia. DiBella now pursuing Kambosos, Devin Haney, same date in Melbourne. So they're saying that an offer was made to Lomachenko. Lomachenko, for obvious reasons, if you know anything that's going on in the world, he cannot participate. So the next man up would be Devin Haney. George Kambosos seemingly confirms this news. He says, when the gate is closed, the little dog barks and is full of energy. But let's see when the gate is fully open, if the little dog still has the same bark and energy. Tick tock. And he put the hourglass. He also goes on to say, you were offered it months ago and you played around. In the meantime, the great man Vasyly Lomachenko made it very simple to do anything to make it happen, and it was a done deal. But Loma now has a bigger fight at the moment, which I totally respect. So let's see how much of your word is true. And this is a Twitter conversation, and ESPN says the ESPN reporter says the smart play, take short money now if you have to, then get paid after if you're the guy. Whatever he taken, I'll take the same offer. And that's what Devin Haney said last month. He said, whatever Lomachenko is willing to take, I'll take that to make that happen, right? Well, this is where we're at. Now, I have very mixed feelings about this. For one, I think this makes boxing look sad, and I'm gonna explain why. I know some people are like, oh, Ego, you should be happy for this news. I mean, I am happy because this is the right fight to make. Undisputed has been a cluster since the WBC integrated the franchise champion into the mix, confused everybody, made all these belts, made all these opportunities, didn't define the rules, switched the rules up, said it was not as a designation, non-transferable. Then they switched up and said it is transferable, and it just became far too confusing for most people. So I've always told you there's two fights I wanted to see for Kambosos next. It was either Devin Haney or Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is fighting his mandatory, and now they're saying the offer is ready for Devin Haney. So you would think that the boy Ego would just be all happy, but I'm not, because I think boxing is full of it, and boxing continues to do this, especially to certain fighters, where to me, I'm not gonna, first of all, nothing is official. Like, just anybody could send an offer. Lomachenko had an offer, but now all of a sudden he can't take it. You know what I'm saying? So things come up. I have to wait and see what happens. But beyond that, to me, I think it's just sad because Devin Haney has been pushing for this fight, and the world of boxing was ready to give it to Lomachenko. They want certain people to be the face of boxing and the faces of boxing, and the game was completely ready and set to outcast Devin Haney. And to me, it kind of sounded like George Kambosos was trying to double back. Him and his team were on board to go fight Lomachenko. And it looks like he's trying to double back and say, oh, like, the ball's in your court and you're a small dog barking, let's see if you'll still bark and stuff like that. But we all know that wasn't your initial plan. The only reason your plan was foiled is because there's a world crisis going on in Ukraine, and cities are being leveled and decimated and, you know, ran amok and pillaged. So now that complicates things for a potential Lomachenko fight, and that's all this is. So just I'm a person of principle and virtues, and the fact that I know this fight is only happening, if it does even happen, by default, that I think that's a stain on boxing, because this should have been the first consideration. George Kambosos, he's saying, oh, the great Lomachenko, the great man Lomachenko made it easy and all this stuff. But at the same time, he was also the person who said, I just beat TEOFIMO LOPEZ. Why should I fight Lomachenko? So what changed where all of a sudden Lomachenko had to fight? Because the cat's out the bag. You gave Lomachenko the fight. You and your team gave Lomachenko the fight, and he had to fight. And again, the only reason Devin Haney looks like he's going to at least have options on the fight is because he can no longer compete because of what's going on with the invasion. And I think, to be honest, that's sad. Devin Haney has been constantly boxed out, or at least they've tried to box him out. Now, hopefully nothing else goes wrong and this fight actually does take place and Devin Haney just gets it and be done with it. Devin Haney, I think he has kind of a style that people know it'll give him problems. So he's in the box like Guillermo Rigondeaux and Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade and guys like that, where it's like, we know he's tricky and hard to beat, and he's dedicated to his craft. He's not out here smoking and drinking. He's in shape, things like that. So guys tend to like try to avoid it, because you look at guys like Joseph Jojo Diaz, he was going to fight Ryan Garcia. It's like Devin Haney, I don't know if it's karma for boxing, but Devin Haney keeps kind of lucking out in some of these situations where you know they were trying to ditch him and weren't trying to use him as an option, like Joseph Jojo Diaz I just mentioned. Joseph Jojo Diaz and Golden Boy were down and they were about to make the Ryan Garcia fight. This is common knowledge for anybody in boxing. The only reason that didn't take place is because Ryan Garcia last year wasn't reliable to fight. 1 minute he had anxiety, he got knocked down in the Luke Campbell fight. And then after that with Javier Fortuna, he got anxiety. He said he was fighting Tank Davis. Then he skipped out and said, I got a bigger fight with Pacquiao. Then that fight fell apart. Then he was supposed to fight Joseph Jojo Diaz. So all in all, he wasn't reliable. You couldn't get him in the ring. It was just all Twitter and things like that. But best believe Golden Boy, just like Lou DiBella and George Kambosos and team, they were definitely trying to move forth without Devin Haney and without making the fight. It just happened that Eddie Hearn and DAZN matched the money that Joseph Jojo Diaz was going to get versus Ryan Garcia. So then it became no reason why Diaz wouldn't fight Haney at that point. And then when they fought, you seen what happened. The same Diaz that fought months after the Javier Fortuna, he looks sharp versus Javier Fortuna. He fights Devin Haney and he looks bad. You know what I mean? So we'll see. You know, no, it's not over till it's over. But I told you guys, the great Ego Stradamus strikes again. The efforts made to try to get Lomachenko out of his country, that he like, how do you sign up for a battalion and then pull out and say, hey, I gotta go train? Like, that's weird. That's like somebody, it's like Muhammad Ali joining the army to go fight in Vietnam, and then he pulls out and say, oh no, I gotta train for Sonny Liston. You know, I'm not gonna be doing that no more. You know, so I always thought that concept was weird, and maybe Lomachenko molded over and had a once over and decided, you know, my country's more important than undisputed belt. The timing's not right, because I do think that kind of would have looked bad. I told you in my videos that seems like an extreme effort to pass up an opportunity. Of course, I know you wanted to fight the guy, but you know, you're gonna abandon your country in times of war that you signed up for. You know what I'm saying? You enlisted or signed up to help protect, and you're able-bodied. There's some people in the Ukraine that can't fight because of their age, or you know, maybe a disability or something like that. So I always thought that was kind of weird, but we'll see how it all plays out. Devin Haney looks like he's up, and this is basically the result of Lomachenko, unfortunately, what's going on with this country not being able to fight. They didn't want this, and I firmly believe that. Let me know how I did in this video. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.